Hello, I'm here with Dremel again, and we are moving on to our next DIY project. We have this coffee table that we are going to be upcycling, and the first step is to remove the hardware with our electric screwdriver, so then we can sand it with our MM20V and get it all ready to paint. So the first step is taking out the hardware out of our table. So I'm just going to use the electric screwdriver with the flathead bit. And I have mine at a higher speed because we have a bigger screw. So I'm just gonna take these out really quick. So you'll want to apply pressure just to start the tool. So before we start sanding, we want to clean the surface, and I'm going to be cleaning it with a shop vacuum, but if you don't have that, you can just use whatever vacuum you have at home. Now we are ready to sand our table, so we're going to take the MM20V and put on our accessory. So you're just going to want to make sure that the knob is loosened all the way, and then press the blue button to put on the backing pad. And when you're putting that on, you'll just wait until it's aligned with the pins and clicks. And then you'll tighten this until you can't tighten it anymore, so it is all secure. And then once you have that going, you will put on your sanding pad. We're going to be using the medium sanding pad because of the wood of our table. And you just put that on your backing pad and you're ready to go. Okay, now that we're ready to start sanding, we are going to first set our speed. You can sand anywhere from speeds 2 to 10. We're gonna set the speed to 5 because our table has somewhat of a smooth finish already. And before you get started, you want to make sure you use your safety precautions. So I've rolled up my sleeves. I'm going to put on some safety goggles and also a mask for sanding. So we're going to begin with the larger areas and the tops and sides with our oscillating tool. Make sure not to cover the vents on the tool while you're working, so you can let the tool breathe out and it's not overheating. When you're sanding with your oscillating tool, make sure to let the tool do the work and don't apply too much pressure, just let the tool sand for you. Once you're done sanding, you can suck up the dust with your shop vac and see what kind of spots you need to hit more or how your piece is looking after you've done your first round of sanding. As a new DIYer, I learned throughout this process, you'll want to go with the grain of the wood when you're sanding instead of against the grain to prevent the swirls in the wood. And so you have a clean finished product. So in my next sanding project and probably the next round of sanding this, I will make sure to do that. After my first round of sanding and checking my table, I also noticed that the sanding pad had worn down a bit. So you're just gonna wanna change that out with your new one and put that on the backing pad. And then you're ready to get into your next step of sanding. So make sure to put on your safety gear and do your second round. Once you're done sanding with the current sanding pad that you have, you're gonna wanna switch it to the finest grit sanding pad so you can finish it up and get ready for painting or staining. So while the oscillating tool is a great tool and helps sand pretty much this whole entire table, there are some tough to get spots in intricate design tables that you'll want to use one of our sanding pads as sandpaper and just hand sand in those nooks and crannies. Now that you're done making your mess, it is time to clean up and get ready to paint and stain your table. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see what other DIY projects we do next.